Hi Libra, it's Romy here. This is your August 2021 soul story. So if you are new to the channel, then welcome. And if you're returning, then thanks so much for taking the time to tune back in. We are going to open up your reading this month with the energy of judgment. And I think the insight I want to really open up your reading with is this recognition that actually you still contain everything that you have ever wished and desired to become, to evolve into. And there's something about the energy of August that I see you really being able to understand that in a new way and giving yourself permission to kind of become fully untethered and have this almost complete rebirth moment, you know. And I think part of that journey that you're going to be on through this month, Libra, is the recognition that people are in really different seasons right now, and that if you stop and wait, or if you try to compare where you are to somebody else, then you are not fulfilling or really being true to your own unique soul journey. And you know, right from the beginning of the month, we have the goddess asteroid Juno, who of course rules the 7th house, of which you're also the natural ruler, and she's going direct in the sign of Sagittarius. Now Juno is the goddess of marriage, of partnerships, and you know, conventions, social norms. And as she moves direct in Sagittarius, there's this bid for personal freedom and really, you know, being able to show up in powerful partnerships, but at the same time recognize that you might be moving, you know, at different paces, at different stages, in different directions, but that doesn't mean that you can't still find these moments of synergy and alignment with one another, regardless of whether that's, you know, with a direct romantic partner or whether it's with specific people in your life that, you know, you have a deep connection with. But there also needs to be a recognition in August that I have to do me this month. And the energy for August is so conducive to this moment of kind of really coming to terms with something, and then right off the back of that awakening, that kind of epiphany, if you like, is the most surprising, unexpected news being delivered. We have a whole series of trines coming in with Uranus, the first coming in at the 2nd, the 3rd of the month with Venus. And again, Venus is moving into your sign on the 16th. Then again with Mercury on the 19th and the 20th, and Mars on the 21st, 22nd. So for you, Libra, these beautiful moments of opportunity to kind of receive something positive, but also understand that it can permanently change the trajectory or the course of your life or how you see yourself. Because for me, the energy of judgment coming in for you in August is suggesting that major decisions, major crossroads moments are being arrived at. And you are kind of in that energy and that vibe of wanting to have your own personal revolution. Your lovers is suggestive to me that there is a choice to be made here. Now, whether that is in, you know, direct connection to a relationship, or for some of you, a specific agreement, partnership, or just in something that's going on much closer to home. I think the recognition that you can still achieve, you can still fulfill, you can still have a direct pathway to attain some of the things that you've been either working towards or investing in is really important. It's like this renewal of hope that comes back, and I think that that's going to make all of the difference. You know, it's a time for you to really count all of the survival that you've had, not, you know, counting up the failures or the mistakes or the disappointments that have been of late. Now, with this energy of August, we are going to be welcoming the 2nd blue full moon in the sign of Aquarius. Really interesting because, of course, Leo season is 11th house for you. So there's a really strong emphasis around community, your friendships, anything that you're doing online, online dating, online initiatives or projects or businesses. And in the same regard, you know, Aquarius is also the ruler of the 11th house. So you've got it coming through the sun sign and in the moon, but it also lights up your 5th house as well, that Aquarius. So you have this opportunity, because it's got a beautiful alignment coming in as it's conjunct with Jupiter, to receive a big blessing. And for some of you, it might mean specifically in the area of romance or something around creative ventures and perhaps the use of technology or something to do with online that's just going to explode. It might also be connected to children for some of you. That's also linked in with the 5th house. But you have this opportunity to see some really powerful, meaningful change coming in around that time, and perhaps also an opportunity to find a solution or even a reconciliation for anything that might have been stirred up during the first full moon on the 23rd of July. So taking the opportunity to kind of really make things work for you and to start to prepare for what comes next is going to be really important. This aspect of preparing in August is coming up strongly across the readings. The reason I say that is because it feels when things start to move, they're going to happen very, very quickly, and you want to be in the best possible position to be able to say yes to things, because I feel it's going to be linking directly to something that you want or you have wanted for some time. And you're going to have a lot of people who are stepping forward to help support you, especially with that emphasis around networking. And so be open to that. And if you can, put the feelers out. You know, if you're wanting to see progress, if you want to meet somebody, if you're trying to advance your business, if you want to get something started in the community, or even improve relationships that are closer to home in your own social circle, just kind of reaching out and being open in your communication is going to lead to some really wonderful introductions and kind of very serendipitous moments, I feel, coming through for this month. So your King of Cups coming in here, of course, could be a water sign, a Pisces, Cancer or Scorpio that you're dealing with. And I like that he's coming through with this energy of the Judgment and Lovers, because I think that ultimately the decisions and choices that you're making are either influenced directly by this King of Cups, which, you know, maybe a male, maybe a female, or even a situation that's being expressed right now. But what I do see as a result of the journey that you go through to kind of make this decision is a really wonderful moment of growth within yourself, because I think what it's going to demonstrate for you is that chasing after people for validation and approval is not really an option for you anymore. And I suppose the question that he is asking from a spiritual perspective, not from being a person in this reading, but from a spiritual perspective, is, you know, if you had no obligation to anybody else right now, Libra, who would you be? Who are you? You know, how would you show up? How would you honor yourself? Like, what would be the decisions and choices you would want to make from a completely selfish orientation? Because there's something about, you know, that higher counsel and wisdom and beautifully calming, balancing energy that has real depth to it that I feel is being gifted to you in this month of August, so that you can kind of embrace the entirety of your humanity, and you can kind of stop this wheel spinning where you just try to be so many things to so many people to the detriment of your own happiness. And I think that's coming in pretty powerfully. Now on the 8th of the month we've got the new moon in Leo, and of course we also welcome with that the Lion's Gate, of course, when the sun and Sirius, the brightest star in the sky, align, and a beautiful day, this portal opening by way of manifestation. Now it is squaring Uranus, that new moon, so again this capacity for sudden change to come through. You now have the Knight of Cups showing up in your reading, and I feel you are determinedly moving towards something through this month of August, and rightly so. I think you're kind of getting much more of a clearer sense of where you're supposed to be. And even if you still feel wildly far away from it, please don't worry, because I think there's like a catch-up quality that I have coming through August, September time that's going to be really important. Now you might also have somebody coming in who's going to be offering something pretty interesting to you, but I also feel that what that's going to mean is that you have to have maybe a bigger reevaluation about how you are doing things at the moment. So it might require a shifting of priorities. It might mean you need to make more space for something, or even dig a little bit deeper and actually question like how much time or energy you've been giving into perhaps a certain person, project, or a part of your life. Because to kind of take this offer up, I have a sense that it's going to, maybe not in the first kind of initial stages, but at some point it's going to require a bigger commitment from you. And you know, as this judgment energy wants to release you, and all of the Uranus energy coming in is also about breaking free. And remember, Uranus is going to be going retrograde on the 19th, so we have this opportunity to kind of slow down for a moment so that we can really master something important within ourselves, our own spiritual revolution taking place, and especially around our sense of value and self-worth and how we take care of ourselves and the resources in our life, you know. So this opportunity to kind of advance with this offer is going to require something from you. So there might be some time that you need to take to just kind of figure that out. At the same token, you know, this month is delivering sort of shocking surprises. Now, hopefully these are going to be coming in on a real breakthrough, positive and liberating sense. Even if in the first instance it doesn't actually present itself in that way, I would want to remind you to just kind of hold judgment, you know, hold back with what you might be being offered or what might be coming through for you if you're not quite sure about it. So we have the Queen of Swords coming through in your reading. Of course, you are aligned as Libra to the Queen of Air here, and that's important because I think there is a necessity for you to be very discerning about what is coming your way. I also feel you, in some regards, by way of relationships, and this isn't necessarily romantic, but I think you're also calling time, particularly where you've literally been this fountain, you know, that has sustained and nurtured and nourished people for just too long. And this might be coming through around kind of social groups or friendships a little bit. And so you might be really starting to figure that a choice and a change needs to happen here. And, you know, perhaps people won't be wildly excited about the approach that you decide to take, but at the same token, this is about us understanding if we didn't have those obligations upon us, what would we be capable of achieving right now in this moment? And have we held ourselves back because of it? Remembering that people are in different seasons, which doesn't mean that you're necessarily moving people out for good, but temporarily there's something that you need to follow. You know, this is a time when you are going to be facing fears, and we don't want you to anesthetize your feelings. The Queen of Swords for me is bringing in that sense of focus to help you move above and beyond any intense emotional experiences or situations that, you know, can kind of cloud your vision, if you like. And we can't have that, because I think some of the choices and the ways that you're going to be moving through August do require you to kind of be really clear about what is happening and what it means for you. You can't kind of show up to this in a haze, dizzy and confused. This is an absolute, you know, okay, like give me the full facts, the full truth, and then I can make an informed choice and decision in terms of what's right for me. Now, Venus coming into your sign on the 16th is that beautiful diplomatic, balancing, harmonizing energy that also says, you know, I want to improve certain relationships and certain experiences in my life to make space and create a vortex of energy for more good things to start to flow in. You know, your thoughts are alchemical. You have the power to create, to transmute, or to destroy things. And I think this month there is a much greater appreciation from you, Libra, about the power that you have. You know, your thoughts are bridges. They really are. They're bridges to everything that you want to manifest and bring into your world. And I think you're going to see very, very clearly what might be impeding that process for you. That might be that you need to ask yourself some of the more difficult questions, but also, you know, just recognizing what in and around your life isn't being particularly conducive to that growth and that movement forward. Your Eight of Wands is definitely indicating that news is traveling quickly towards you. And what I really love is that we have like the discernment and the focus and the clarity and the detail that this Queen of Swords is going to, you know, cut right through any uncertainty. And then we have that spiritual wisdom of the King of Cups sort of harmonizing with this and the deliverance of it. You can see the lightning strike here. It is this very Uranus energy that can kind of come in and just this moment of lucidity where we're like, oh my God, how did I not see this before? How did I not understand this or recognize this? And that's going to mean everything for you, because you might just do a complete 360 on something in your life, you know? And this gift that you can give yourself in terms of just appreciating the entirety of who you are right now in all of your imperfection is really the most perfect way to be able to kind of embrace a lot of the energy that's going to be coming in for you. Now, I do see some of you rejecting or turning away from particular advances from people or offers. Why are you doing that? Because I feel perhaps it's a little bit the boy that cried wolf or the girl that cried wolf. It's kind of like where someone has repeatedly indicated that they may change. I think there is a level of exhaustion from your perspective, of just waiting to see the actions, and them just not having followed through. At the same time, there's a recognition of like, why am I still here? Why am I still even entertaining another opportunity for this person to come in and to hurt me, to disappoint me, to hold me back, to drain me. And so perhaps that's a difficult moment of realization for you as well. But there is this sense of needing to persevere for yourself to get to the other side of what that particular cycle or pattern represents. Do you want to give trust into that person? Well, of course it's going to be unique to your particular journey right now, Libra, but what I would say is that the judgment call here feels pretty profound and final, and there is something fairly permanent about what you are recognizing or coming to a place of balance about through the course of this month. Now, when we move into Virgo season, which is going to be right around that full moon, which remember is making really harmonious aspects, but coming into Virgo season, of course, is your 12th house energy of release, a letting go of that sense of allowing healing to come through, and a lot of the subconscious energies coming to the surface, but bringing you back home to your spiritual self. And there's a lovely quality of healing coming in here. And I love the restorative nature of the star as you've sort of battled your way through something over, the course of the month or even the last few weeks, Libra. And perhaps that Queen of Swords is what you have required to do. You've had to have a kind of spiritual armor on to a certain extent. I suppose there's an invitation now as we approach, and we move through Virgo season and make our way into your own solar returns. Do I have to continue to operate in that kind of a way, or is there a softening that I can allow here? What can I open up to in this moment? Because with that once in a blue moon energy coming through toward the end of the month, you have an opportunity, I feel, to be put in direct contact, to meet people, or to have such a burst of something really special and quite sacred to come into your life, and very destined, very celestially guided by your own higher self, by the guides that walk with you on your journey. And I want you to be in an energy where you are open and conducive to that, because right now the Queen of Swords, she's got that state of tension in her body, and it's almost like you might just be waiting for the next battle that you have to endure. And that's understandable, perhaps given some of the experiences that you've been through, but at the same time, like, we're at a point now where we have to give ourselves permission to kind of relax into a much more fluid way of being, and actually still find the upside and the moments that kind of resonate on a much higher level for us, and that can bring in that beauty and that nourishment. That's why perhaps some of these important decisions, particularly around the people that you're surrounded with, are maybe going to be coming through. I think harnessing and doing anything online or working with technology for you this month is going to be fantastic, Libra. So, if you are working on anything, or you have plans to, or you're trying to connect or meet with new people, this is going to work really well in your favor. We still have kind of a nice open skies energy where, Mercury is nice and direct, and all that communication should be flowing, especially when it moves into your sign in Libra right at the end of the month. Now, there is a slight confused kind of nervous tension that's going to permeate throughout August, right? And we have 5 of Swords here, but what is this indicating? Do we have to prepare ourselves for a disappointment or a setback? Well, I just kind of want to spin this a little bit right now, because what I actually feel is that this is going to be you, Libra, making the choice and decision to perhaps step back, remove, or withdraw something, okay? You have to stop feeding that fountain so it's just floating, excuse me, mindlessly to feed other people. And I think that's really what we're seeing here, is that the emotional response, which could be very manipulative, it could be very victim orientated, it could even be quite gaslighty, has the potential to be projected towards you because of the empowered decisions that you're making for your own survival at this moment, you know, or your own well-being, your own peace of mind, your own personal liberty and sovereignty. So it's kind of, it's big, bold decisions that you're having to make, and they're not easy. They're not easy. And is everybody going to be happy with them? No, probably not. But it isn't really your job to kind of mollycoddle or to help everybody, you know, come to terms or to try to convince people why you're doing what you're doing. You know, this is about recognizing that we are all in these different seasons right now, because you're in an energy of needing to prepare. You are needing to prepare because some of the offers, the choices that are coming through are really elevating you and evolving you to the next level. And I think there's going to be some really supportive people that are going to be showing up, way showers that are going to really invite you to consider how you see yourself and what resides within you. Like we said, you're containing everything that you've ever wished to become, and the remembrance of that this month is everything. So let's take a look and see how these oracle cards want to just join the conversation. This is a bit of an epic deck, this one, 100 cards. It's called the Ark Animal deck, and it links into the tarot energy as well, Libra. Okay, so you have the energy of the raccoon, which links into the Page of Wands, enthusiasm, free spirit, new ideas. I love this fire coming through, and I think it is going to make you extremely resourceful, adaptable, and really tenacious, actually. And you know, this Page of Wands, I think, is what is going to open up this opportunity for networking, for new initiatives, for new creative ideas. And as we work through August, remember this preparing energy. You might just be noting down these ideas, keeping like a check on them, and it's really going to start to get fired up come September time. So you're going to want to be ready, because when things move, they're going to happen quickly. But this is also, remember, a month of breaking free with all of that Uranus, you know, those sweet kisses with all of these trines, and it wants to bring about a permanent sense of release, so you can access more easily this well of nourishment. This is about you accessing a fountain that's for you, instead of you being the one that's constantly giving out to others. But remember, it's also in the mindset, and it's about you understanding how alchemical those thoughts are. Like we said, you have the power to create or to destroy your own dreams right now, just by the way that you are talking about them and talking to the self. And so this sense of enthusiasm and positivity is going to be really important. And I also think that makes a direct influence in terms of important relationships and partnerships through the course of this month, okay? You may well also have some difficult choices and decisions to make by way of kind of, I don't know, what team you want to align with, like what camp you're in, like who you feel is like your tribe, your family, you know, or even making a choice between two people from a relationship perspective. That can really split one's energy if we allow it, and we can start to feel a bit fragmented and almost like we lose our own voice or we lose our sense of uniqueness. And so if that is your experience through the course of this month, you know, also just tap back into that energy of the Page of Wands, because that's about the inner light and you harnessing the spark that you've been given. And I think as you kind of as you're able to sort of grip hold of that, you know, raccoons, like they kind of move through the trees, don't they? They kind of grip on so tightly with that, and they have expert balance. And it is about you just being able to find that sense of dexterity about, you know, where do I need to be right now? What am I good at? How can I champion myself here? How can I find a greater degree of enlightenment and not get caught up with what anyone else is trying to persuade or direct me towards? I think that's going to be quite important. Of course, that energy of the Lovers may also link into the sign of Gemini, but you are working with someone, or the choice here is, what I want to say is, it's just like it's someone and you know how they work, or you understand them. As like a meeting of minds happening there. It's like a fellow air sign, so that ability from a mercurial perspective to sort of get under, you know, someone's skin and just know, or just have that sort of sixth sense of, okay, I know where they're coming from. I think that's going to be really valuable in relation to helping you make choices and decisions as well. Okay, you have Moon Dance here for the Oracle card. she's balancing on a tightrope, isn't she? Kind of tethered to the moon. Of course, the moon representative of something coming to a point of completion and fruition, but also a need to let go. And perhaps she's holding on to something, you know, for fear of losing her balance. And yet the three birds here are saying, like, you know, everything's, it's like a Bob Marley song, isn't it? Three little birds. It's like everything's going to be all right here, Libra. You can let go. You can release. You can allow the moon to just shine and bring that sense of revelation, and you can focus on kind of coming back into your core, strengthening that solar plexus, and you'll be able to walk right over and see the full beauty of this landscape. But as you try to hold on too tightly to something that is constantly in a state of evolving and change, you become stuck in yourself. So, you know, understand that these birds are coming in by way of messenger. They're delivering news and information like your Eight of Wands that's going to help you to let go and release, and also bring something to light that I think will be beneficial for your growth. So these are crystal energy cards. We'll take a look and see what wants to come through. Hematites. Okay, so connected into the root chakra. Again, culmination. So we have a similar vibe coming through here. Hematite, of course, deeply protective, very grounding stone to work with. And the root chakra, of course, is about those emotional foundations, those physical foundations, and where we feel safe and how we have a relationship to abundance, to scarcity. And so as you move through this month and you start to allow yourself to flow with some of the surprising, shocking, breakthrough, liberating experiences, you know, there's a lot of victories that are going to be had, but there's a lot of upheaval that's also going to take place. Hematite's going to be a great energy to harness and to keep you steady, and it's probably the perfect antidote to kind of feeling a little bit untethered or ungrounded, you know, or even overly emotional if you've got that very strong lunar pull happening in some regards. So Libra, this is a general reading for August. If you want to join me for the extended version, we're going to speak for another 20 minutes or so and just go a little bit deeper into the insights for this month. Just invite you to think about a question right now that I might not have answered in the general spreads. We will pull a couple of cards for you on that. You can find the link in the description box and the comment section underneath. It's a way to support my channel as well as getting additional insights, and I'm really grateful for those of you that decide to join me if it's resonating for you. So Judgment, we also have the energy of the Queen of Swords coming through again. You are not for changing your mind once it's made up this month, Libra. I will give you that. We also have the Emperor coming in. Here's a very controlled energy showing, I feel. And maybe you need that, you know, just to kind of stay strong. Three of Swords, interesting. Okay, we've got the Eight of Pentacles coming in here with the Lovers and also the Ace of Swords. You will have a platform to be listened to this month. There's our Wheel of Fortune backing up this very synchronistic series of events set to take place. The energy of the Devil with that King of Cups coming through. Five of Cups, interesting. Temperance. There is going to be a need for you to kind of figure something out on your own this month. It's not like nobody can help you, but I kind of feel like nobody can help you kind of arrive at the answer, you know. Four of Cups, Knight of Cups coming in again. King and Queen of Swords this month, interesting. This is the Dreamskeeper Tarot, this one. So we have the Page of Pentacles. Events are going to happen so quickly, and I just have a feeling you're not going to be fully prepared. So that's the best advice I can give you. Just make sure as much as you can. If you have an inkling or a heads up or your intuition is guiding you, which it will, of course. Queen of Cups. And the Hanged Woman. Okay, I'm going to leave it there, Libra. Thank you so much for tuning in. I just wish you a beautiful month of August, and I'll continue this conversation with those of you that are coming over for the extended. Take care.